Time now for our roundtable with News Channel 5 political analyst Brian Crowley and Mary Anna Mancuso. Brian, your reaction to the president's Supreme Court nominee?
Well, we don't know how she's going to rule on anything yet for certain. So, that leaves a lot of mystery. I think that the Senate Democrats are going to make a lot of noise, and I'm not sure that's the best path for them to take at this point. Frankly, had they approved her on Sunday and moved it along, that would be fine. I think that weeks of silly squabbling over the inevitable victory that she's going to have in the Senate is maybe a total waste of Democrats' time.
Mariana, Barbara Lagoa, Judge Barbara Lagoa, 11th Circuit out of Atlanta, born and raised in Hialeah, Cuban-American parents, was mentioned very much over the last week. Obviously didn't get the nod, but it's certainly one would imagine that didn't hurt the president's standing with his Hispanic constituency in Florida. Your thoughts?
You can tell that the president's support among the Hispanic community is languishing as he floated her name and was hoping to name her, but obviously he did not nominate her. He nominated Justice Amy Coney Barrett instead. And I think that I'm not sure how much longer that's going to hold steam with the Hispanic community because she didn't get the nod.
Mariana, many are arguing, many of the pundit class have been saying of late that it's the Biden campaign that seems to be lagging with Hispanic voters. There have been complaints about their ground game in Florida, and that it's Joe Biden who has a lot of catching up to do in Florida and beyond.
Look, Florida is a battleground state. As we've said before, we'll continue to say until election night when the results come in. Florida is actually the path to the presidency, and both Trump and Biden are fighting for their lives in the battleground state.
Brian, talk about how this Supreme Court nominee, who does it energize more, Republicans or Democrats, or both equally? Our guest before you said, listen, this is in many ways a proxy vote on the future of the Affordable Care Act. With the 6-3 conservative court, Affordable Care Act, in their view, could be in jeopardy. Abortion rights, you name it. Talk about that and the calculus as to the get out the vote effort and how it energizes that vote.
I think this is a moment for Florida Democrats in particular to take a really hard look into the mirror and how effective they have been in the last few election cycles. And, they really need to step up their game. And if her appointment is enough to energize them, that's grand. But, the cost of a relatively weak Florida Democratic Party is the fact that Donald Trump got to appoint 3 people to the U.S. Supreme Court. Florida Democrats have tended to be a little anemic, in my view, despite the fact that they've been very close races. And they really need to step up their act. These these changes that are taking place now will last for generations, and they can look at the Republicans, but they need to look at themselves and whether or not they've been as effective as they could have been. The latest voter registration statistics suggest the Republicans have gained a lot of ground. And, Democrats in Florida need to figure out what have they been doing wrong.
Mariana, all eyes will be on the debate this coming week. And from coronavirus to questions and debates about law and order, racial justice and the like, the message that you'll be listening for from the president as he tries to make his case in front of tens of millions of Americans, and alternately the case Joe Biden will be trying to make. What will you be listening most closely for?
I'm going to listen most closely to see if the president's going to finally weigh in on Breonna Taylor's justice. That has been a case that's been wreaking havoc across the country, and something needs to be done. And we're seeing a lot of people and a lot of unrest, and he wants to point to Joe Biden's America. The reality, this is Trump's America, and he has an opportunity to turn this around.